Oh, they're over there.
Okay. So, I run a painting company. That's kind of entertaining. I find it entertaining. Do I look like I run a painting company? No. So, particularly from the girls or just everyone, like, what are some problems that girls could run into? Whether it's in a painting company or just as in entrepreneurship in the business world. Anybody? Okay, so that'd be like perception things. Okay. What else?
Experience.
In what sense? Experience.
Painting.
Do I actually have experience painting? Yeah? Anyone else? No? Okay. Well, I'm going to take probably a more neutral stance on the issue as like some feminists would, because I think for the most part, like we're all humans. But there are technically some limitations as a girl. Like it's going to be much harder for me to lift a 24-foot ladder on top of a car than a man. Not that it's not possible, but it's going to be harder. So yeah, some of the issues that I ran into and that some other people run into as women in the entrepreneurship world, just kind of talk about them. Is there any fears that you have about going into this as a girl?
Yeah, I just don't want to fall off a ladder.
Or any of the guys, like Alex, where's Alex? Are any of the guys scared of that? Or is that just, are you scared of falling off the ladder?
No, I've fallen off plenty of ladders. As bad as that sounds.
Okay, so is that a gender thing? Okay, so I guess my experience with perception. It's entertaining actually. A couple weeks ago, I was sitting in a meeting with a construction manager and a volunteer coordinator for Habitat for Humanity. And I walk in, my hair is curly, and I have a suit on, and I'm like, hi, let's talk about construction. And I could see it crossing his face, like, what? You're not touching a paintbrush or my house. So it can be a wall that we walk into, but how do we work with it? And if we work with it, how is it going to make us stronger, right? So for me personally, I guess kind of how I went around it, you have to come a bit more prepared, maybe. The guys can use that to make themselves even stronger, but I found that I had to come a lot more prepared and really know my talk. I had to be able to do the shop talk, whereas a guy might be able to fake through it. I couldn't, maybe because of my limited experience, but also just if I didn't know any little thing, that person was going to nail on me and they weren't going to have faith in my abilities. So perception is definitely something to deal with, but what it allowed was I was then more prepared for every meeting. I was therefore able to be more proactive. I was able to make it a strength. Perception, yeah. Experience, yeah, so I didn't know anything about paint when I started painting. So how did I, as a girl, get around that? Support, you have to, and ownership. Taking it upon myself to, I met with every single paint rep, and it was just like, tell me everything about paint. Tell me everything about paint, and just like taking more of an ownership of it. So it's definitely, it can be something that gets in the way, but if you take an ownership, you can make it into a positive. One other thing that I found, which whether it's just my personality or whether it's a gender thing, it's hard to say because we are all just humans. But painter relations was one thing that I found that was different from my other fellow managers who were males. In order to maintain that I had experience and maintain the perception that I could lead them, I had to have a different relationship with my painters. I couldn't, and this again isn't necessarily for everyone, but as a girl I felt that I had to keep a certain level of distance from my painters because we can't like be friends and everything when I'm like, no, now go do this, go do this. So I kind of had to maintain a different kind of relationship with my painters. So again, nothing that would hinder me and actually became a positive, but just possibly a different way to approach it. Yeah. Does anyone have any questions about this kind of stuff? Has anyone ever thought like, oh, I'm a girl, I can't lift that ladder? Talk about anything? No? Okay, another thing, which, because when I started doing this, didn't cross my mind like, oh, I'm a girl, this would be harder. I think the extent that it crossed my mind was like, it's going to be harder for me to lift ladders, therefore I need to go to a different system on how to do it. So it just like, didn't cross my mind too much, but I guess you're the only girl, like, are you guys thinking about going into business, or?
I guess, no, I'm just
here just to see whether I get into my future. It's not very serious, so I have thought about these things.
Okay, good. Okay, no, it's good. Well, as a girl running a painting company, I guess the biggest difference that my friends noticed and my family, I looked horrible, but that's okay because I was just on a constant adrenaline rush. And so a guy doesn't sleep or doesn't shower or whatever, like, you can't tell. But you can tell with me.
Ouch.
I'll own it. Remember that one time I ran in after to a meeting? I'd been like scrubbing the street for like 4 hours. It's not good. But again, it kind of became a positive because perception experience, when I showed up to book a job or I showed up to the painter's work site and I had my hair like this and paint all over myself, that perception experience kind of went away. So it was good that you could tell that I worked really hard. Yeah, so that's women with experience. And